Long, long ago, giraffes were not tall animals. This is a story of how giraffes became so tall, a story of how they got their long neck. It all began in a jungle, a very dense jungle, a jungle where all kind of animals lived, a jungle which had enough food and water for all. This jungle had one cute giraffe. As I mentioned earlier, he wasn't tall at all. He had a short neck, like that of a horse. He loved to walk around the jungle and look for food. He had a friend, another cute little animal called Rabbit. The rabbit loved to run around the jungle. The two of them played hide and seek among tall trees. The giraffe and the rabbit were the best of friends. The whole forest loved their friendship. During the day, they loved to explore the forest together. When bored, they would play pranks on their other animal friends. In the evening, the giraffe and the rabbit would go in search of food. They ate leaves from the plants and trees and visited the nearby lake for water. The giraffe and the rabbit were always together. Once their stomachs were full, they came back and slept under their favorite neem tree. The neem tree kept them cool during the summer and warm during the winter. They loved to lie down under this tree and stare at the stars and fall asleep. Everything was fine until one year when there was no rain. Water was nowhere to be seen. Since there was no water, most of the plants dried up. Very few trees had green leaves left on them. The whole jungle was now brown in color. Things would still have been fine, but one day the rabbit fell ill. He became tired and weak. Now he couldn't go out with the giraffe in search of food and water. The rabbit could barely sit up. He slept under the tree all day and all night. Now the giraffe went alone in search of food and water. After he had his dinner, he brought fresh green leaves for his friend. Some of the tall trees still had green leaves in them. Once his friend came back, the rabbit would sit up to eat his dinner. Soon after finishing dinner, he would go back to sleep. This went on for a long time, but the rabbit didn't get better. As the summer continued, the jungle got drier and drier. Green leaves were now very hard to find. The giraffe was now spending more and more time in search of food and water. The green leaves were now found only on the higher branches of the trees. The little giraffe was finding it difficult to reach them. To top it, he wasn't able to play with his best friend, the rabbit. All of this was making the little giraffe tired. One evening, the giraffe came home with dinner for the rabbit. The moment Rabbit saw his friend, he knew something was wrong. The rabbit could see that his friend was both worried and tired. As the rabbit sat up to eat, he asked, "You seem tired, Giraffe. Did you have your dinner?" That evening had been tough. The leaves had been high up on the tree. The giraffe had not been able to pluck enough leaves for both of them. His friend had caught him. The giraffe had skipped his dinner because there wasn't enough food for both of them. He quietly replied, "No, I didn't eat anything." That night, the giraffe and the rabbit shared the dinner. As they slept under their favorite tree, looking at the stars, Giraffe wished he had a long neck. With a long neck, he would be able to reach the green leaves higher up the tree. Then they would never be short of food. If he had a long neck, he would be able to see long distances and spot water as well. Next day, as the giraffe was standing beside a tree to pluck leaves, he realized that there was no point in just wishing for a long neck. He decided to try harder and stretch higher for the green leaves. When he stretched more, he was able to pluck more green leaves. Now he had enough dinner for both of them. Every day the giraffe stretched a little bit more. All summer he kept stretching to reach the leaves that went higher and higher up the tree. At the end of the summer, he realized his neck was much longer than before. He had kept on trying. He hadn't given up. Ever since, giraffes have never had any trouble searching or reaching for food and water. So remember, kids, if we keep trying, there is nothing that is impossible. Really, nothing.